Consequently, it is right said here in that one has to give up all kinds of sense desires manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in Krishna consciousness without hesitation. For this devotional service will instantly help one on the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no desires resulting from petty materialism. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं त्वदाङ्की स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथांस्तजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सगणा ललितान् श्रीविशाखांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण इंग्लिश So, our consciousness is eternal. We are always consciousness. So, it is not that we are consciousness at some time and after death we are not unconscious. No, we are always consciousness. So, here, Prabhupada says, our consciousness should be doubted in the Supreme One. And whatever consciousness we are having, that is, manogatan, which is created in the mind. So, according to mental speculation or mental concoctions, will be acting always. So, this mental speculation is always, tottering. It's not a stable one. So, and mind business is always sankalpa and vikalpa. We sometimes accept or sometimes reject some things. So, this mind's business is to accept and reject. So, how we can put our consciousness in the pure consciousness? How we can dovetail our this consciousness into the supreme consciousness? So, that is what we are discussing now. Here, the contents of the Gita are summarized. Means the second chapter is considered the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. How initially Arjuna was struggling to fight with his cousin brothers. And initially he was ready to fight and later on he decided not to fight out of compassion because he was a Vaishnava. So he thought that let me not fight with my cousin brothers and kill them. Let me give up the kingdom. So this was his mental, material idea, material concoction. So in ordinary speaking, the people will appreciate his words. Yes, Arjuna was a good person. For the sake of his cousins, he gave up the kingdom. But, but Krishna was not satisfied with his actions, with his words. So Krishna says, you have to fight. So initially, Arjuna was not willing to fight. And later on, he took Krishna as his, accepted Krishna as his spiritual master. And he took the teachings, means instructions from Krishna, that is from Bhagavad Gita. Then he understood the Bhagavad Gita and he doubted in the Supreme. So there was argument between Krishna and Arjuna initially. So whether to fight or not to fight. So at this time, Arjuna was actually in the mental platform. So he was concocting on the material platform. So whatever we concoct in material platform or on bodily concept of life, that is always illusion. Means it is not correct. It's wrong actually. But when we start acting in spiritual consciousness, then that is correct one. There is no any flaw. There is no any doubt when we act in spiritual consciousness. But in material consciousness, there is always duality. But in spiritual consciousness, we won't find any dualities. It is absolute. So whatever our actions we are doing, that is, there is no tinge of doubt in our actions. So this is on the spiritual platform. This is possible only on spiritual platform. So here on mental platform, or mental concoctions, or under mental speculations, we cannot do anything tangible. So it is all a failure at the end. But in a spiritual platform, that is all pleasing and good for everyone. So qualitatively, our consciousness and Krishna's consciousness is same. But quantitatively speaking, our consciousness is minute. It is at infinitesimal. But Krishna's consciousness is infinite. So we can, our idea means we can know about our body parts. If there is any pain in the hand, we can come to know about our pains and pleasures, which is limited within our body. But the pains and pleasures of all the people will be known by the supreme consciousness, that is Lord. He knows the mind, pains, pleasure of all the living entities. But we as an individual, we know only about our consciousness, our pains and pleasures. So we are always limited. And Krishna know about present, past and future. So his consciousness is unlimited. So ours is limited. So our business, our minute business, means living entities business is to dovetail our consciousness with the Supreme. And we have to learn this art with the help of the master, spiritual master, how to dovetail our all the activities, all the senses in Krishna's service. So sometimes we have got the propensity to accept and reject. Sometimes our mind will accept, sometimes we reject. What is pleasing to us, sometimes we accept, and what is not pleasing, we reject. So we are actually conditioned. So, but we are conditioned in this material platform. So, Prabhupada gave an example. Suppose we are having $10 million and we will be thinking in our mind, so if I get 100 million or 1 billion, I'll be happiest person. But that is not the happiness. After when we get $1 billion, again we hanker for some more thing. So it has no end. So later we fall in distress. The same way, a diseased person having a wound in his leg, and a person will be thinking, If the same wound was on my hand, it would be nice. So like that in mentally we are thinking that this is nice, this is good, this is bad. So accepting and rejecting is going on. So likewise, one more example Prabhupada gave, mentioned, just like a person going in a boat, and in that boat he has kept a wooden log, and whenever you want to rest on the log, it will be painful for him. So he'll be thinking, oh, if at all I become rich, I will use the pillow instead of log to sleep. He was thinking like that. So he doesn't have idea that if he become rich, why again he has to row the boat, again why should sleep in the boat. So these are all due to ignorance of a living entity with a limited knowledge and limited understanding. We are thinking that this material life, this glittering material world is all in all. And we doesn't know that this is a painful situation or troubleful thing. So we make multiple plans and think how to become comfortable in this situation. And at the end we'll be in failure. Because whatever plans we are making in this material world is under the material platform. So whatever material platform we are making plans is at the end is a failure. So we have to give up this idea of making plans on this tottering platform, and we have to endeavor in such a way, means in spiritual consciousness, and put ourselves on the spiritual consciousness and act according to the wishes of the Lord. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita about many yogas, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, dhyana yoga, hatha yoga and all. And very intelligently, very diligently, if we use all this and execute what pleases the Lord, then we will be happy. So we have to always see how to please the Lord, what pleases the Lord. That is very important. It's not that what pleases me. So what pleases me is wrong actually. That is a mental concoction. What pleases Lord, that is a spiritual platform, spiritual idea. So that is pure consciousness, we can say. Our thinking is all not a pure bodily consciousness, but thinking on a pure consciousness, we can become happy forever. So likewise, many acharyas, previously I mentioned Shankaracharya, Buddha, Lord Buddha, Ramanujacharya, put forward many theories, many philosophies regarding the body, consciousness and soul. Here Lord Buddha says, our these miseries are due to these senses. And once senses and this consciousness. Once we stop these senses and desires, make it zero, then everything will become zero. Means we will be dismantled. So this was Lord Buddha's theory. So you should not desire. So all the desires should be eliminated, and we have to dismantle all these things, material desires. Then we come to the platform of pure consciousness. But that idea is not correct, because here one example is quoted. Just like a diseased person, if he come with a fever, high grade fever, and instead of treating him as a doctor, if at all we kill him rather than treating, and say that now is finished, is consciousness finished, is all are finished, desires are finished, if we say, then nobody will appreciate this. Means that is equal to death. So making zero means, here according to Buddha, it is altogether death. So when we die, there is no consciousness, nothing, everything is zero. So that is also wrong. It's not possible. And according to Shankaracharya, Aham Brahmasmi means I am this soul. I am not this body. So he says neti neti neti. So here body means according to Shankaracharya that is all senses. According to everyone it is a senses. So these senses, when we engage these senses according to our sensual desires, we will be in troublesome, means troublesome to heart, trouble to the living entity. So he says, you start identifying the consciousness, don't identify with the body. So if you say neti, 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 I am consciousness, I am consciousness. So this does not help us because by this we cannot become happy. Always thinking, oh, I am not this body, I am not this, because we are possessing senses. So there is life means senses should be active. So without senses, there is no life actually. And life and desire. Desire should also be there. And we have to engage our consciousness in the supreme consciousness. Just like one example, Prabhupada has quoted many times. One of a naughty boy. Naughty boy, if you go on telling him hundreds of times, and if you say that we will give you chocolates, sweets and all those, so that let him remain for some hours, it is not practical and that boy cannot stay calm for even 1 minute also. It is impractical. So how this naughty boy can be calmed down? He can be calmed down by putting him into proper engagement, giving some good engagement, showing some artistic works or some drawing articles and all those things. Somehow we can divert his attention and engage him. It is not that stopping the activities. It is not at all possible. So as a bhakti yogi, we people, as a Vaishnava philosophy, we know that how to engage our these consciousness in the service of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Consciousness. So there is a supreme plan behind the creation of this world, and we should act according to that plan of the Lord. Just like sun is rising in a particular time, and moon is rising, seasons are happening. So these are all well arranged, well organized by the Lord accordingly, without any flaw in the universe. I mean, it's universal affairs. So we have to know how to dovetail our conditions in the supreme consciousness. Just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayachati. So this Patra Pushpa Pala are actually material. But when these things are utilized for ourselves, that become material sense desires. But the same thing when we use for the satisfaction of the Krishna, whatever is there. So Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayachati Tadam Ashnami Prayata. Means Krishna says, I will take that whatever is there. So whatever you offer, means whatever a devotee offers, so Krishna will accept that one. So same way, we have to know how to make it spiritual. When we offer the same Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam to Lord, and we offer to Lord and honor, then that becomes spiritual. The same material, if you go on eating, our consciousness will be degraded. But the same consciousness, when we dovetail in the supreme consciousness by offering to the Supreme Lord, then our perfection will be achieved. So same way when father gift a cake to a boy on his birthday, and if the boy give the same cake to his father as a token of acknowledgement or out of love, then that is, then the father feels very happy. In the same way, Lord is not happy when when his child offers the patram pushpam palam to the Lord. So the same way, when Lord is happy, and we also will become happy. Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari. Gaurang Nitai ki Jai Ho. So we cannot become desireless, because desire is the symptom of the living force. So at any given time we cannot become desireless. So in Narada Pancharatra, it is mentioned that Sarvapadi Vinurmaktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam Vishikena Vishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchyate. So this Upadi means and being in the bodily concept of life. Thinking that I am man, that is also Upadi. I am engineer, I am doctor. These are all Upadis. So we have to come out of these Upadis, and we should be on the pure consciousness. Then we will be purified. So just to stop the desires is not possible. But how to put the desires in the Supreme according to his desires is the actual way of following the. Just like one diseased person. When a diseased person has got some fever, high fever, just by reducing the temperature of the patient, he cannot become healthy. So he should be put in such a way that entire disease should be cured, and he should be fit to walk or do some activities. So likewise, even our consciousness, our desires cannot be altogether put to an end. It can be utilized in the Krishna's service, and slowly we can be purified and we can achieve perfection. So engagement of our senses in pure consciousness. So Vrishikena Vrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So that is the actual bhakti. Engaging all our senses, five knowledge gaining senses and five activity senses, means action senses, in Krishna's service. So that is very important. How to engage these senses according to the direction of the Supreme Lord. And this will be guided by the spiritual master. And we can, by implementing those actions in Krishna's service, we get purified, we become purified. So all the senses, like whatever we are doing, like nose, eyes, ears, and everything, every limbs can be utilized for Krishna's service. So even in Bhagavatam it is quoted that by Amrish Maharaj. What is it? Savaimana Krishna Padaravinda Vachamsi Vaikunta. So Krishna is saying how to utilize all the senses in Krishna's service. Even walking, whether you are walking, you walk for Krishna, means going to temple. And eating, you eat for Krishna. So every action, every limb, even eyes, in seeing the deity of the Krishna. Smell, you can smell only the flowers offered to Krishna. So likewise, if you dovetail every action in Krishna's service, then slowly, slowly we get purified and we achieve perfection. So we can achieve perfection only in spiritual consciousness, on spiritual platform. Many people will glorify the materialistic persons. If the materialistic person has achieved big, big things, like Tata and Birla and Ambani, they have achieved big things. They build big, big temples, buildings, house, everything. So many people will glorify them, appreciate them. Oh, he's done a big thing, big job, like that. But it has got an end. This is all a material platform. So whatever their actions we are doing, they are doing on material platforms, has got an end, means failure. it won't last for eternally. But whatever we do on the spiritual platform, this will last forever. And this is only source where we can achieve perfection in our life. Simply instead of applying for our own, whatever material are there, we should apply all these things in the Krishna service. Say, for example, mobile phones. So if you see Facebook, YouTube, and all those things, instead of seeing Krishna Katha or Krishna's lectures related to Krishna, it become material. If the same thing, if it is utilized for seeing Krishna's programs, Krishna's service, that mobile also will become spiritual. So in every sphere of life, in all the places, we have to know how to utilize everything for the Krishna service. Even when some person go to collect funds, and every farthing should be used for Krishna service. So nothing should be kept for ourselves. So this is our principle actually in spiritual platform or devotional service. So after listening Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna also, Arjuna decided to fight. So initially he was thinking that, okay, he was thinking on the mental speculation. So let me not fight, let me become a beggar. So many things he was thinking. So when after hearing Bhagavad Gita from Krishna thoroughly, then he decided, Karishye Vachanam Tava. Smriti Labdva is saying, I got my consciousness. Now I am properly situated. Now I will do whatever you say. Means I am ready to fight, he is saying. So initially he was desiring for his own self, his individual self. Later on he started desiring for Krishna's self. So for the sake of Krishna, he started fighting and he achieved perfection. So Swanishtatasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. It is said in Bhagavatam, even if you got your own occupational duty, you can continue with the same occupational duties, and if you know the technique, how to dovetail our consciousness in the Supreme, or how to dovetail our services for the sake of the Supreme, then that is also successful. It's not that you have to change your dress. It matters about consciousness, how consciousness you are there. That matters. So in Western philosophy, they are also speculating on material platform. Many philosophers, Aristotle, Gate, and all those people, they all speculated and they came to some conclusions. And even once Aristotle was challenged that to drink poison, because he told there is life after life, birth after birth, he told. So all the people asked him to drink poison. He drank poison to prove that. So likewise, many Western philosophers have their mental speculation. So here it is said that without the Lord's mercy, we cannot stand on the spiritual platform. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, somehow or other, you keep me as a dust on your lotus feet, he says. Speck of dust on your lotus feet. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam vishame bhavambadav krupaya tava pada pankaja stitaduli sadrusham vichindaya. Just like a dust, you keep me on your lotus feet, he says. So for everything, we should beg for the mercy of the Lord. Only then we can be successful on this spiritual life and in devotional life. On our own ability, we cannot do anything. See, sometimes we'll be proud of our senses. But without the Krishna's sense, we are not able to see ourselves. It is said that first Krishna will see, super soul will see, then we will see. You see, it is said that Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasagnaya Brahmati Samruddha Kalaja. See, this because of this sun, all other planets are sustaining. And even without the sunlight, we are not able to see our own self. So we are completely dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Lord for light and all. Sometimes we'll be proud of our own strength, own ability, and with our hands we'll be thinking that I can do this, I can do that. But if the same hand is paralyzed, we won't be able to do anything. So for every situation, every instance, we should have the mercy of the Lord. So without the mercy of the Lord, we cannot stand on the spiritual platform as well. Haro abhaktasya kudo mahad gunad manoratena sa davatavi. So whoever is not a devotee of the Krishna, non-devotee, he doesn't have any good qualities. Means he will be hovering on the mental platform always. But once he become a devotee, then he will be on a spiritual consciousness. And he will be on pure consciousness. So there are three kinds of distresses you will be knowing. Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, all those kleshas are there. So Adhyatmik means which is pertaining from our body. So which fever and all those things are Adhyatmik. Adi Bhautik means where the miseries come from other living entities, enemies, and all those things. They are Adi Bhautik. And Adi Daivik means natural calamities like famine, floods, and all those things. So when we are situated in mental platform, we are affected by all these three tapatrayas, threefold miseries. But if we situate on the spiritual platform, that is Krishna consciousness, then we can overcome all this fear. We become fearless. So that is the first instruction in Bhagavatam. So how to overcome the ignorance, how to overcome fear, so and how to dovetail our consciousness, that is being explained in this second chapter. So it is told that as soon as we become on the bodily conscious of life, we become fearful. And when we start using the demands of the body, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna, so then we become fearful. So we have to get rid of, means prajahati, yada khaman, we have to get rid of these desires altogether. So it's not so easy to get detached from these desires. So we have to cultivate the desires in Krishna consciousness under the supervision of the spiritual master. And slowly we get rid of all the desires, and we become fearless. So Prabhupada also mentions that he took sannyas. So with proper intelligence, with proper deliberation, he understood that what is the use of being in family life, wife, children, and all those things. So he took to sannyas, and he mentions that it is a chance to take sannyas and get rid of all this bodily concept of life. Wife, children, house, everything, relatives are all bodily concept of life. So we have to get rid of this bodily concept of life, and we have to experience this spiritual bliss. This spiritual bliss is unlimited and very enjoyable. But this material, whatever we are enjoying, it has got a time period. To certain time we can enjoy, and it will become boring later. But spiritual is not like that. Anandambudhi vardhanam means it will keep on increasing. There is no limit for this enjoyment. But unfortunately, we will be engrossed in the spiritual, and we are never experienced what is that spiritual happiness. And later on, we come back to this bodily concept of life. Even many Mayavadis, initially they think that, oh, this is neti, neti, neti. All this material are troublesome, means danger. They think and they leave everything. They leave family, friends, relatives and go away. But they don't know, they don't have the information of spiritual world, means Lord, Krishna and all those things. Again they come back. Again they come back and they start doing their philanthropic activities. Again they do the same thing, material activities itself. Because they don't have the idea what is spiritual platform, how to enter the spiritual platform, what is Krishna consciousness, and who is Lord. So because lack of this information, these Mayavadis will definitely fall down sooner or later. But a Bhakti Yogi will continue eternally. Even though small endeavor if he has done in this life, that will be counted and he can continue in the next life. So there are many planetary systems, Sargalok, Burlok, Bhuvalok, Tapalok and all those things, Siddhalok. In Siddhalok, they can go to whichever planet they wish. So even they have achieved such a good thing, but that is also material. That is also on the material platform. So whatever these achievements are there on this material world, except Krishna consciousness, all other are material. It's material consciousness. It is a materially concocted idea. Tasya nidanam pramatya pashyannapi na pashyati. Even though we are seeing that many people are dying in front of us, still we won't become serious. How to become a Krishna conscious devotee, or how to be ourselves on the supreme consciousness, how to total in supreme consciousness. So one example is given, just like when a person is building a house, and if any other person come and ask why you are building the house, if he says, I will burn this house. So he is building a house to burn, ultimately. So everyone is like that. We are all in the bodily concept of life, thinking my wife, my children, my family, my relatives, my car. So like that we are thinking in so many ways. This is all bodily concept of life. So it is all temporary. See, at the end, it will be finished. Just like our body. Now we have taken birth some years before. After we will extend for some other years. And one day it will be finished. Then again we get one more life. Again same business. Again same thing will be continuing. Even though we are seeing that, even though we know that very well, that again and again we are taking birth, we are getting birth. So still we won't be serious to get rid of this troubleful material consciousness. So whatever material advancement we are making in this life is one day like burning a house only. Whatever achievement we have made, one day we'll burn it. So in Hindus also it is there a culture that once we build, once we are grown up, once we die, we will be burnt. The same way, everyone are doing the same thing. So materially they advance, they go to one stage and they burn it. So this is the business going on. So how to put ourselves on the spiritual consciousness? So that is very important. Even many kingdoms, many empires, many kings, they ruled this world for many years, thousands of years, many dynasties. But now they have become a history. So nobody is existing eternally. But simply we are thinking that I will do something, I will achieve something. So this material consciousness, bodily concept of life, is a very dangerous thing and which will end with misery. It is like a bubbles on the ocean. So sometimes bubbles will come and they break. In the same way, our desires, our material these desires will come like a prop up like a bubble, and slowly, slowly it will be finished. So, so one who is intelligent, who is working through his senses, mind. There are some philosophers, poet, and all those people. These are all little intelligent class who at least think. So, what is body? Even scientists sometimes thinks, what is this life? What is the cause of our life? So, how to make material prospects and all those things. So at the end, I would like to finish. So Arjuna, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he understood Bhagavad Gita, and he said, "Yes, I would like to fight." So he fought, and he achieved the perfection by fighting. So in the same way, we can achieve perfection in all ways. So Krishna says, Prabhupada gave one example. We have got a finger, my finger. So this finger should be used for my purpose. So in the same way, a room which belongs to a landlord, but we are rented for our purpose. So we cannot say, I am the proprietor. So in the same way, Lord is the proprietor of everything, and we are claiming that this is mine, that is mine, this land is mine, belongs to me. So like that we are claiming. So that is actually on the mental platform. So here Krishna says, Kurmanganiva Sarvasha. So how to control our senses? So it should be controlled by like a kurma, means a tortoise. How the tortoise will retract all his limbs when inside and become like a round ball. In the same way, whenever required, we have to use our senses and we have to put it back into our constitutional position. We should not, never ever use our senses for our sense gratification. If at all we use the senses for sense gratification, and we get implicated. So there are many illusion. Out of illusion, we are thinking it is an illusion to think that we are the masters of the senses. So we want to become the servant. We are in illusion when we think that we are the enjoying our senses. So we should become a master, means Goswami. How to control the senses? So one who has controlled the senses is considered as a Goswami. So I would like to end the class. Conclude. Hare Krishna. जय शिला प्रभात की जय हो।